What's up, YouTube?
What up?
Fred and Scott, Birdland BS. It's Monday Night Football.
Hell yeah.
We got the
Are you ready for some football?
got the Tenneesse Titans at 5-5, I think. Yeah, 5-5, going into Houston to take on the red-hot Houston Texans at 7-3. After starting the year, 0-3? They're on a 7-game winning streak. This is a team that, going into the offseason, we did some of our yearly predictions before the season started on our podcast channel, which if you haven't checked out our podcast channel, you can find it here on YouTube. Also find it on Facebook and Twitter at Birdland BS. But we did our early season predictions, and Houston was a team I was really high on.
Yeah, you were high on him. I wasn't. I was a little concerned about Deshaun Watson and staying healthy and everything. And so far, when he's been healthy, he's been playing pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not an immaculate QB or an elite QB, but he's being effective right now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with him, obviously, there's the nervousness of the knee injury and coming back from that and having the time off. I mean, there's so many factors when you have a player coming back from a major injury like that. But I mean, I think he's done good. I mean, obviously, we saw the struggles early on,
right?
And it's been an up and down. He's definitely not playing at the level that he was playing at prior to the injury.
No, not even close.
But again, they're sitting at 7-3 in a cluster F of a division. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I think were kind of the early favorite to run away with the division, especially after the way that they played
last year. Yeah, absolutely. And especially that defense was almost lockdown last year.
Absolutely. I mean, Jacksonville, in a lot of ways, really just with that kind of defense, you thought, God, going into this year, Blake Bortles really just needs to be a game manager, and put up maybe 20 points a game, and they should carry themselves really well through this division, pretty easily through the division. Hasn't been the case this year. Defense has not played up to what we all kind of expected to see, especially, again, going all the way to the AFC Championship and really dominating the league last year as far as defensive stats go. Jacksonville's been kind of a mess. We talk about the Indianapolis Colts coming into this season, getting Andrew Luck back at the helm. There were a lot of, question marks around him and how his shoulder was going to hold up and was he going to be able to play at the level that he played at.
He's been finding his tight ends quite often.
Yeah.
That's what has been a lot of his success.
Eric Ebron has kind of been reborn out there in Indianapolis. But what we're seeing is, we're seeing some kind of change of the tide, some things, not going as predicted in the division.
Yeah.
Indianapolis playing really well of late.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, about the Texans struggling early on, but finding their way here with 7 wins in a row.
Yeah, we got Sam already chiming in the room. What's up,
What's going on, Sam? Appreciate you tuning in, man. Good to see you.
It's the other thing, sad news, for the Texans, and I think we can't go without mentioning, and I'll actually take my hat off as I mention this. Bob McNair, longtime owner for them, passing. Yeah, he
passed away at the age of 81. They were pretty mum on how he died. I know he had some battles for quite some time, I think, with skin cancer.
Yeah.
I'm not ultimately sure if that's, what took his life or not. But this is a guy that, his son Cal is the COO of the team. He's kind of taking things over. He was obviously...
He was at the helms last year and this year, from what I understand.
Yeah, and, his father was very instrumental in bringing football back to Houston after the Oilers left and went to Tennessee and became the Titans that we all know. Right. He's made huge contributions to the city of Houston over his entire tenure there. I mean, he's donated $100 million to help build the Baylor College of Medicine. He's donated $8 million to the University of South Carolina, where he graduated, to help create the McNair Institute. He's donated over $5 million to the football program there. I mean, he's just done a lot, and obviously he did a lot paired with J.J. Watt with obviously the devastation that went through the hurricane and everything. So yeah, it really sad news. You know, a lot of the NFL world kind of shocked. I knew there was some controversy around McNair with some comments that he made last year, not last year or the year before. But that was something that could have got misconstrued in the way that he saw. I think he said something along the lines of can't let the prisoners run the asylum or something like that. Only Bob knows what he meant by that.
Yeah, I'm sure some people can guess, but James and Brent are chiming in. What's
going on, guys? Appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, get a few guys in here before we get started, before the game gets started. You know, this is going to be an interesting game. I'm flip of a coin of how this game can really ultimately go. I think the Texans ultimately win this game, but for me, when it comes to Mariota is the big question mark.
Yeah, obviously.
He can be effective, but this year he's struggled. The injuries haven't helped.
Yeah.
You know, this week he was still somewhat of a question mark, but he had full participation in practice. You know, so he's going to be playing, but you have a lot of guys. You know, just sitting here looking, there was a lot of guys for the Texans sitting on their questionable and you know, mables kind of situation.
It's a banged up team, that's for sure.
My boy, he needs to get out there today. DeAndre Hopkins. He's on my fantasy team, and he was lighting it up for a while, and then got injured, and I'm missing him poorly.
Yeah, he's hands it away. One of my favorite receivers in the NFL. I think he put him in another situation. You pair him. Obviously, we're starting to see his production pick up a little bit with Deshaun Watson, but you put him with an elite quarterback, and this guy is dominating the league. He's got some of the best hands. He runs some of the best routes. He's just a very savvy and very reliable receiver. Underrated in a lot of ways, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about that. Hector's in. What's up, Hector?
What's going on, Hector?
Good to see you, man.
Appreciate you tuning in.
We got to get with Hector, by the way. We still owe him that shirt. We got to reach out to us, man.
Send us a message. I know you. I think you added us on Instagram and Twitter, so send us a message. We got to get you that shirt. I still got it pulled aside for you. Same thing goes with Brady. If Brady tunes in, same thing for you, man. Send me a message and I'll get it out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, gonna be an interesting game. We were talking there for a second about some of the injuries. You know, just to run through, there's 4 questionable guys for the Titans. Sammy Coates, wide receiver, apparently had some type of illness. Didn't participate in practice at all this week.
Right.
I didn't hear too many details on what the illness was, but he's very questionable for the game, especially without practicing. Duke Ejiofor also is out with a shoulder. He was limited in practice, so he's questionable as to what kind of role he'll play in this game, along with the 2 guards, Senio Calmetti, who's out or who's had issues with his ankle, and Zach Fulton, who's had issues with his shoulder as well. So all these guys are questionable for this game. Everybody else has been a little bit, you know, Justin Watt and DeAndre Hopkins have been limited in practice. Justin Watt, the defensive end, and
that's JJ, buddy. Don't call him Justin.
Whatever.
JJ.
Whatever.
He's a man. You call him JJ.
JJ's a boy's name.
Call him Justin to his face.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh gosh. But yeah, no. Him and Hopkins were a little bit limited in practice, but they're showing shots of him. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's
JJ Watt and DeAndre both ready to go. There ain't no question these guys are going to be on the field.
JJ Watt's another one of those guys, man. No matter who you're rooting for team wise, you can't root against JJ Watt.
No,
that dude's
you
just
can't.
beast. Texans set to kick off here to the Titans. Titans set to receive. Look like they're going to let this go in the back of the end zone and take a touchback. I'll let you go with this one.
So yeah, no. I mean, we were talking about it before with Mariota. You know, coming off the injury. For him, that passing offense is not doing well in the league. They're ranked 30th in the league passing. Rushing, they're 21st. He is just, and he says it himself, he needs to be consistent, and they need to be consistent as a team.
Yep.
So he's going to line up with 2 wide out to the left. I can't tell who he's got there at running back. He's gonna fake the handoff. He's gonna dump it off. Looks like it's gonna be a dump off to David. That's Smith. So dump off to Smith. Gain of about 7 yards. So second, looks like it's gonna be second about 3 here.
Yeah, man. These are two teams struggling on offense. Two very good defensive teams, 4th and 3rd in the league, respectively. Should be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'm correct. It's second and 8. It was only a 2-yard gain. A little further off than I thought. So we're going to see Mariota's going to make some play calls at the line, going to audible it. He drops out to 2 wide out and a running back behind him. He's going to fake the handoff, looking to his left, looks back right, and he's going to hit Davis for about a 12-yard gain, maybe a 13-yard gain there.
Yeah, Corey Davis really starting to come into his own in this his 2nd or 3rd year in the league right now. He's a guy that I was high on coming out of the draft, a guy that I was hoping the Ravens would go after, but no such luck as it is with us, with the Ravens and the wide receivers.
No, not at all. Not at all. So we're going to see Davis is going to line up out to the left. It looks like you're going to see Dion Lewis in the backfield. He's going to shift Smith out to the left as well. He's going to fake the handoff to Smith.
Going deep.
Smith going deep. And it's going to be almost intercepted. Wow, that was a huge play there, but there is a flag.
Yeah, it looked like the safety Reed there just dropped it. I mean, the ball hit him dead in his hands. That's why he's a safety and not a wide receiver. Man. Those picks don't come much easier than that.
No.
But there is pass interference on the play, on the defense. So
it was on Reed, too.
Yeah. Would have been negated either way.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't even matter. Yeah, great coverage to an extent. He pushes off of Davis, but Davis wasn't even going towards the ball. I don't know. It's a questionable call with a push off there.
I think it was a good call, but I don't think it affected the play. Davis still doesn't come up with that catch if he doesn't push it.
It was 5 yards behind both of them.
Right.
All right, so we're going to see Mariota line up. He's got Lewis in the backfield. He's got 3 wide out. Tight end set. Hands it off to Lewis. Lewis is going to push forward and get a gain of about 2, maybe 3. We'll see where they spot this. I think his knee came down after about 2 yards.
That's one thing with the Titans, man. It's kind of frustrated me. You got a huge, big body back in Derrick Henry, and they really don't utilize him as much as they should, at least in my opinion.
No. Mariota's going to drop back. He's going to dump it off to Lewis. Lewis gets back to the line of scrimmage, and it looks like they're actually going to call it for a loss because he tried to stutter step and take it back out around the defender.
Big 3rd down here for the Texans. See if they can hold Mariota and Tennessee to a field goal to start the game off after the big penalty.
It looked like Merciless putting some pressure on from the right side there. So now is a big time that you usually see a guy like J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt or Clowney.
Or Clowney putting the pressure on. Tim's in the room. What's up, Tim?
What's going on, Tim?
All right, so Mariota's going to line up. He's got 3 out to the left, 1 out to the right. Tight end set to his right. He's going to take the snap with 4 seconds left. He dumps it off to his tight end, and it looks like it's going to be about 2 yards shy. So 4th down. That looked like it was that the Luke?
Yeah.
Luke
and
Stopper.
The Honey Badger with the stop there, like you said, leaving Tennessee 2 yards short. Tennessee's going to have to bring on the field goal unit. Big stop there after a huge penalty against the Texans defense to be able to hold Tennessee here to a field goal attempt. Ryan Suckup.
Yeah, Hector says Alabama Derrick Henry.
Yes. Alabama Derrick Henry. Yeah.
All right, so Suckup's going to line up for the field goal attempt. It's going to be a 31-yarder. And snap. It's up.
And it's
good.
And there you go. We got our first score of the game is Tennessee on the road takes a 3-0 lead against the Texans.
11:47 left in the first, too, Fred. I mean, it's plenty of time. Getting 4 minutes off the clock. I'm sure they would have liked to have gotten a little bit more.
Yeah.
But definitely still a lot of football left. It's going to really come down to what is Deshaun Watson and this offense do when they get the ball on their first drive.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're going up against, you got 2 of the better defenses in the league. You got the Texans ranked 3rd in the league in total defense, and the Titans ranked 4th. You got 2 of the most probably disappointing offenses in the league. Coming into this year, you thought a little bit better about what the Texans looked like on offense. Again, getting Deshaun Watson back, and you've got the Hopkins that you mentioned, and you've got the Will Fuller, although he's out now with injury. You thought the Texans would have a better offense, but they're sitting right now ranked 26th in the league in total offense. Titans, like you mentioned, all the struggles with Mariota and the injuries that he's had. He's been banged up. It's gotten to the point now where he's got nerve issues in his hand. He can barely even feel the football. So I can imagine how tough that must be to try to actually throw a football when you can't feel your hand much. So this game's really going to come down to plays like that. Big defensive miscues on the Texans' part with a huge pass interference call that gets the Titans in field goal range right away, and they put up a 3-spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's big. Penalties we've seen over the past 2 weeks, even with the Ravens, penalties have played, a fairly large factor in what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Sam brings up a good point. He says, I know Deshaun is now the veteran. I want to see him and LJ dance again, LJ being Lamar Jackson. Yeah, they that game was an amazing game back in college, Louisville and Clemson. Definitely a showdown of two of the top elite quarterbacks in the college ranks at the time. We're starting to see Lamar making his mark on the NFL, and the Ravens offense kind of adjusting around Lamar. But make sure you tune into our podcast tomorrow at 8:45 because we're going to dive into the Ravens. Obviously, we're a Baltimore sports podcast first and foremost. So that's kind of our bread and butter. Yeah. So if you haven't tuned into the show before, and if you're interested in the Ravens, be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 8:45.
Yeah, and they just showed Dean Pease, who we know all too well.
Yeah,
he is the defensive coordinator for the Titans. So it's always interesting to see a Dean Pease. Oh, sorry, Dean Pease off
defense.
Defense, yeah. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like,
Suck up here, lined up for the kick. As the Texans are back to receive, it looks like DeAndre Carter back in the end zone. He's gonna let this one bounce, and we're gonna take a touchback here. So Deshaun Watson trots out on the field for his first drive of the game. Like we said, I mean, Deshaun's not putting up bad numbers. I mean, he's starting to get rolling as of late. He's thrown for almost 2,600 yards already on the season. He's got 18 touchdowns and the 9 interceptions. 9 interceptions a little high. But, again, starting to play better. He's been banged up even with the collapsed lung and broken rib that he's had this year. So a lot of things that he's had to deal with, all while trying to get adjusted to playing again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Deshaun starts the game off, empty backfield in the gun, throws out to his right, complete to his tight end Griffin. Looked like Griffin may have gotten about 5 there on first down. So it's going to bring up 2nd down and 5. Another guy that we haven't talked about much yet and is still kind of getting acclimated in Houston, Demaryius Thomas, with the big trade with Denver. So we'll see how he plays a role here. Watson under center. He's got single back. Lamar Miller gets the handoff, goes left, gets up to about the 33-yard line, so a gain of about 2 on that. Looks like it's going to bring up 3rd down and 3 with just over 11 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Tennessee leading 3-0.
Yeah, it's always going to be interesting to see. First 3rd down of every game is always, the toughest for the defense and the offense because it really sets the tempo for the game.
Watson here in the gun. He's got Lamar Miller to his right. He's got 4 wide. On 3rd down and 2, he drops back to pass, looking to his right. He's under pressure, and he gets sacked. Deshaun Watson felt pressure from all angles on that. He had it coming from his left, his right, up the middle.
He was completely surrounded, that's for sure.
Offensive line did not do a good job blocking on 3rd down there. Kind of a weird play call, in my opinion. You got 3rd down and 2. You got a decent runner in Lamar Miller, he's putting up 600 yards so far this year on the year. He's a decent runner. It's early in the game. You drop back in shotgun like that. Kind of strange.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like they're going to kick it off from about the 27, 28-yard line. It's going to be fielded. That was by, I believe, who is their kick returner this year? I don't even have their kick returner on my list.
Looks like Jackson. This is Dory Jackson.
Jackson's doing the kick returns for them this year.
Yeah, Dory Jackson. started off the year pretty decently. It's been exposed a little bit defensively at corner. A lot of teams kind of targeting Adoree Jackson recently. We'll see how he matches up tonight against some of these wide receivers, like we mentioned, Demaryius Thomas.
Kidder 96 joining us says Mariota attended college at University of Oregon. He says Eugene, Oregon.
He did.
So yes, he did go to Oregon, and also says Demaryius Thomas not related to Julius Thomas.
He is not related to Julius Thomas. However, they were teammates for a few years in Denver.
They were
not related though. Not related. So I think again, I think we're both kind of on the side that we think that the Texans are ultimately going to win this game.
Yeah.
But again, it's going to come down to who makes the least mistakes. We've already seen mistakes early by the Texans with the penalties. And then who can make the big stops on defense. And right now, so far, small sample size, Tennessee stops Houston on the first drive, 3 and out. Texans make a blunder on defense. So far, Tennessee's playing good on both sides.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the other thing about Tennessee, we kind of joke about Dean Pease because we weren't the biggest fans of him here in Baltimore. But
now, with that said, hold on before you go too far into this. It's not that I didn't respect Dean Pease, and it wasn't that I wasn't a fan. The problem with Dean Pease, I think he's a great defensive coordinator. Where he lacks is his in-game adjustments and being able to, at the half, adjust to whatever the offense is doing and picking you apart. That was always my frustration to Dean Pease. It was always kind of that mentality, like I know better than you know type of thing, and didn't make the adjustments that needed to be made. And you could almost sense that in the locker room from the players that, in the interviews that they had once Dean Pease left and the excitement that went around, Wink Martindale getting the promotion and everything, and them kind of being a little bit more freer on defense and being able to make the changes in game.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's my one thing on DPs. Yes, I think he's a great defensive coordinator, but he has his flaws.
Yeah, no, he does have a good defensive mindset, but like you said, that it truly is. And that has actually been one of the struggles of the defense for Tennessee, is the same thing, is that in-game adjustment and being able to really make those adjustments to make the big stops when you need to.
Right.
Your offense is preparing for it. You got to go against it. All right, so we're gonna have Mariota line up under center. Looks like his
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's in the background. He's gonna flip it off to Henry. Henry's gonna get out, gain about 5, 6, maybe even 7 on the play. He goes out of bounds to the left-hand side. There's a sweep out to the left with a little shovel pass to him. Little shift there. Putting the defense on, getting some pressure very quickly.
Yeah.
It was Clowney coming off the edge, putting some pressure on him. Pressure on Mariota very quickly in that.
Yeah, Tennessee started the game with Dion Lewis in the backfield, who's more of the pass-catching threat at running back. And now they bring out Derrick Henry here, who's more of the banger. He's more of the north-south kind of runner.
Right, exactly. All right, so now we're going to see Mariota under center again. Going to step back, drops it off over the center. And that's going to be caught going
Huge
40,
game.
30, 20, 25, 10, 5. Touchdown, Smith.
Wow.
What a play. That was like, I want to say about a 51
or 61 yard. Jonas Smith, man, over the middle, caught that and then just turned on the afterburners.
He was wide open and didn't have a man in sight. The safety was off, playing off the edge. And he just dumps out little route, little short hitch route, and then turns around and just turns on the burners. He has got nobody in front of him except for the referee.
A lot of yak on that one. That was about a 4 or 5 yard completion that turned into a 61-yard touchdown. Huge play for Tennessee, as Tennessee is threatening to go up 10-0.
And they are.
And they do.
10-0 Tennessee. 9:21 left in the first quarter. And so Tennessee's getting a little bit of drive here, and it could really kind of play into it. And we have Emmanuel joining in. Says second half is when the Texans come back strong. They can.
They
have that ability, but you can't get too much into a deficit.
Yeah. I try not to read too much into numbers. I'm more of a feel kind of guy. And, when we talk about Deshaun Watson and what he can do at the quarterback position, you put another weapon around him in Demaryius Thomas, who Demaryius Thomas has had a lot of success in his days in Denver. He's still, again, trying to get acclimated to his new teammates and to the play calls and all of that and trying to, get in the playbook. But if they can work him in where he becomes a legitimate threat, all that does is open up the pass game even more for DeAndre Hopkins, who is your legitimate number one, top of the league type of wide receiver. This offense can be dynamic. They can stretch the field, and they can attack fast. You just got to see a little bit more consistency from Deshaun. And we're starting to see that as the year goes on.
Yeah, you definitely are. I mean, that's the one thing that's always with these quarterbacks, like Mariota, like Deshaun, that you expect them to not hit that sophomore slump, to go through and show the consistency and show the ability to, be a strong quarterback. The quarterback that kind of falls into that situation right now is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's having a strong year since coming on and taking over for Tyrod Taylor, but he needs to sustain that next year.
Yeah.
That's what everybody forgets. Everybody talking about the numbers. And yes, the numbers are great. But how many quarterbacks have we seen that play a year, play a pretty good solid first year, everybody gets tape on them, and the next year they struggle? Yeah,
I mean, the league's going to learn how to adapt to you. You have to be able to adapt to their adaption. You know what I mean? Like you have to be able to change and adapt with the game. And Baker struggled early on. He has his first game was good, and then he kind of hit a rough patch there. I think the big change there was obviously Hugh Jackson getting let go and the play calling changing there in Cleveland.
Did you see the video of him, by the way, with Hugh and him meeting after the game? Yeah. He wants to give him a hug, and Jackson's like, arm's length, stay away from me.
No, it was the opposite way around.
Baker was saying, stay, kind of had that eye look of stay away from me.
Baker even made some comments in his late game press conference talking about, it's nice to have somebody different making the play call. Right. So a little bit of a dig.
I think you said somebody good, in fact.
Suck up here with the kickoff. Texas field it about 2 yards deep, bring it out of the end zone, out to the 20, 25, and he's tackled down, but it's 29, fumble. But the ball is stripped. Are they ruling this a fumble? And indeed they are. We'll have to see who pounced on the ball, but Houston's saying they pounced on the ball and recovered it.
Griffith is saying that. It looked to me like Houston did recover the ball there, but that ball went.
And they're giving the ball back to Houston here. So Houston did, luckily for their part, were able to fall back on the ball as Carter was stripped there. Right as he's getting ready to go down.
Yeah, no.
I think it was Kamale Correa.
Was it?
I think so.
Former Raven,
right.
Yeah, I was looking to see.
All right, so
like that fumble went about 10 yards forward.
Yeah, so they actually gained about 10 yards on that. Deshaun Watson's got two wide receivers split out, one to his left, one to his right. Under center, he's got single back Lamar Miller in the backfield. Play action, he's got pressure, avoids the pressure, scrambles out to the left, slides and dives forward, gets a little bit past the line of scrimmage, may have gained a yard on that. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 9. Early on, Tennessee showing some heat.
Yeah, they're getting some pressure in there really quickly as well.
Yeah. Tim says Titans out to a good lead. Absolutely. Yeah, so Deshaun under center here on 2nd down. Hands the ball off. Alfred Blue up the middle for a big gain.
About 20 yards, 18, 20 yards.
Yeah, that was Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller for a gain of about 20, 25 yards on that play into Tennessee territory. This was just a simple one cut and boom, right up the middle. The middle was wide open.
That O-line shifted perfect to the right, giving him that hole.
Tackled down at about the 40-yard line in Tennessee's territory. Deshaun lines up here in the gun. He's got split backs and 3 wide. Makes an audible. There's some jumping on both sides. No flag, no call. Sean takes a snap, hands it off to Miller. Miller goes up the middle and gets about a yard on that. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 9.
It's a big play there for them to get up the middle with Miller.
Yeah.
Getting up the middle, big gain. Really taking the defense pressure away from them. Literally right up the middle. He didn't even have to move left or right. Straight north-south.
Sean Watson in the gun. Hands the ball off to Miller again. Miller bounces back out to his left. Makes a move. Gets across the 1st down yardage. It gets about 12 yards on the play. Lamar Miller, the veteran back, off to a good start here on this drive. As he has 2 big yardage gains. About 35 yards in total between those 2 gains.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you keep handing him the ball, that's for sure.
Just keep giving him the rock. Texans on the 27-yard line, 1st down and 10, trailing 10-0. Watson in the gun. He's got man in motion. Hands it off to Miller again. Miller off to the left side. Again, another 1st down yardage gain for about 12 or 13 yards on that one as well.
Looks like they're going to be about the Tennessee 12-yard line. So that puts it a little bit more. I think getting closer to 15 there.
Close, yeah. Depends on where they mark it.
Yeah. It's always tough when they're diving forward.
Yeah.
It's like although I don't think he's touched. I think he just trips over his own feet.
Yeah, he did. Wow, that was definitely a touchdown if he doesn't go down.
Yeah.
There's nobody around him. But, yeah, Texans on the 12-yard line here, 1st down and 10. Watson in the gun. He's got 3 split. Throws out. Oh, no. Fakes the throw. Tries to run the ball up the middle. He even faked me on that one.
Yeah.
Got back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play. Is going to bring up 2nd down and 10.
5:50 left in the 1st quarter here.
Yeah.
Tennessee is up 10-0, but Houston driving down the field.
DeAndre Hopkins got 6 touchdowns in the red zone this year. That's the kind of target you need. That's the kind of target you want. Somebody you can rely on just throwing the ball up, and he's going to come down with it.
Yeah.
Watson here in the gun. Drops back, looking to his right. Throws back corner to the end zone.
That's
and
Demaryius
it's complete
Thomas.
to Demaryius Thomas. Touchdown, Texans. As Demaryius Thomas, I think, gets his 1st touchdown as a Houston Texan.
I believe so.
12-yard touchdown reception there.
Great coverage. He had the defender behind him the whole time, was able to get the move on the ball, puts a quick little move on Jackson, and it's thrown right where Jackson's behind him. He's got that big body in front of Jackson. No way Jackson had a chance.
This goes back to what I was saying earlier. Attacking Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson was kind of holding on to the back of Demaryius Thomas's jersey there. Got away with a little
Slow down, please.
Got away with a little bit of holding there, but nonetheless, good throw by Watson and a great catch by Demaryius Thomas. The extra point is up and good. So that puts the Texans right back into this game, trailing the Titans 10-7.
Only down by 3.
Only down by 3.
This is the type of game that you want to see. Very quick, offensively minded game. We know this is coming, and we knew it was going to be an interesting game. It's just how did Tennessee's defense respond, and how do they respond at the half as the Texans begin to make adjustments and different play calls. Obviously, the first round they were trying to do a lot of passing. Right. This time they're handing the ball off to Miller, and Miller just shows them, don't forget about me.
That was definitely the Lamar Miller drive, as he had about 45, 50 yards of rushing just on that one drive alone. Hey, guys, do us a favor while we're on the commercial break. We got about 25 of you guys in here watching right now, but we have 0 likes on the feed.
We actually have 3.
Oh, we have 3. Okay, mine shows 0. Yeah. We got 3 of you out of the 25. Take a second, do us a huge favor, hit that thumbs up. It helps us. I know we say this every week, but it does. It really helps us with getting recognized and getting more people in here. And we encourage you guys to interact with us. Any questions that you have that you want our opinions or our takes on, make sure you drop a comment down below. As always, we call this the roll call. Check in. Let us know where you're listening from, how you find us. And again, anything that you guys want us to talk about, drop in the comments below.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a shout out to everybody last week. I know we had Tim sharing a lot, a few other people sharing as well. We actually got up to 5,000 views.
Yeah, 5,000 views on last week's Monday Night Football game. Now, granted, it was kind of the game of the year with the Chiefs and the Rams, and the offense that went up in that game was unbelievable.
Set a record for most scores in a Monday Night Football game.
Third
history.
most in NFL history.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable game. You're either a fan of offense or you're a fan of defense. So you either really enjoyed that game or you hated every minute of it with all that offense.
Fred, asking you shall receive. We're up to 7 likes now. So
appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that. Just smash that little thumbs up button, man. It really means the world to us. And if you haven't already, take a second to hit that subscribe button as well. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and don't forget, you can check us out on our website too, www.birdlandbs.com. Find out about Fred and myself, Ryan, one of our other co-hosts, and you can check out all of our episodes of our normal Birdland BS podcast, where we do talk Baltimore sports. So be sure to check that out. You can also check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter handles at Birdland BS. Mine's at Scott BLBS and at Fred BLBS. So we appreciate you guys tuning in here as we.
Macatech says, what quarter and what time, please? So it's first quarter still. We got 5:21 left to go in the first.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna get the kickoff, and it's gonna go back out of the end zone. Tennessee is gonna get the ball here with 5:21, like you said, left in the first. So we have
Lucinda chiming in
again.
What's going on? Appreciate you tuning in again.
Lisa chimes in and says, don't have ESPN, so watching on YouTube. Thanks.
Oh, well, we appreciate that, Lisa. Yeah. Any interaction that you have or anything, questions that you have or anything you want our opinions on, be sure to drop that down below.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to see Mariota in the offense go back to work here. Mariota's going to line up in the gun, 3 wide out to the right. 3 wide out total. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. He's going to fake the handoff. Looking right downfield. And he's got Davis. Looks like Davis is going to get it for about a gain of about 20.
Yeah, it looked like about the same play that they hit Davis for earlier. Just an out pattern towards the sidelines. Easy throw, easy catch.
Yeah, Davis going right out of bounds as well.
Yeah, gain of about 22 yards on that play.
Joseph just doesn't look like he can keep up with him.
Joseph's been around in the league for a long time. He's a veteran corner. He's got a lot. Yeah. He's got a lot of smarts and a lot of intelligence.
Mariota's going to line up under center. He puts Davis in motion out to the. Smith in motion out to the right. Davis out to the left. And he's going to hand the ball off to Henry, who's going to go up the middle. Looks like about 1 on that play. So. They'll be at their own 47 as of right now. 2nd and 9.
Lisa says shout out from Robstown, Texas. Awesome.
Nice.
Appreciate you tuning in from Texas. You, I guess, a Texans fan then, huh?
I would think so.
I would think so.
That or Cowboys, but if you're a Cowboys fan, I don't think you're even bothering watching the Texans game. All right, Mariota's going to line up under center again. He's got 2 wide receivers, and it looks like Henry's going to be lined up in the back. And it looks like they're going to hand the ball off. No gain. That was Lewis. No gain up the middle. Watt on the stop. J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that name. And swim move right around.
And shoestring tackle of Lewis. God, he is fast, and he is strong.
He is too fast at that point. All right, so we're going to see them set up now. Going to go with a 1 running back, 2 tight end set, 2 wide receivers. He's in the gun. Tight end in motion. And 6 on the play clock. 5, 4.
We got some movement on the line.
That may have been
everybody pointing fingers at the other person. They're going to call this false start.
Yeah, offense. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty here.
Yeah, Taylor Lewan, little early with the movement there, just enough to draw the defense off sides and get the penalty call against him.
Yeah, they're showing videos of Jason Witten against J.J. Watt, and Witten just can't handle him at all. So Witten knows firsthand about the power and swim move with J.J. Watt. They're demonstrating it now. He's just got that quick swim move, and it really is. It's just that quick. Throw the other guy's arm past you, and you're around him quick.
Yeah, when you got that kind of strength, man, it's real easy to throw people off balance.
Tennessee's got to call a timeout here.